Hi there, let me show you how you can use the new Mini Delight Petite Reverie and some simple stamping to create two memory keeping layouts in this next video. Hi there and welcome to a new episode of Inspired by a Card with Natalie. Today we're going to use the new Mini Delight Petite Reverie stamp and die set. This is the new subscription to create a layout, actually two layouts using very simple stamping. And the inspiration for today's project comes from Petite Chandran, which is the card I just showed you. And the way she created her background is she used repeating stamping of the shadow part of the flower to just fill her entire card. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. I'm going to use black obsidian ink and just the shading part of the stamp. So you know the outline that comes in those little dots, I want to use that part. And I am using actually eggshell cardstock for my background because Petite also used a background that is non-white, so I went with something with a little bit of like this kind of, I don't know how you call it, kind of like it's like a really light super light craft, and I love it. So all I'm gonna do is I'm using my stamp to actually, I'm patting it on top of some obsidian ink, and I'm just gonna add the stamping on my cardstock, and I'm gonna repeat it so that it fills the entire 8.5 by 11 sheet. Now this paper is gonna transform into two layouts in my memory keeping journal, which is my little album that's from Citrus to Skits. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna work on the details so I can put it all together. One of the things I want to do is I want to create a title. So I am using the You Matter die set to create the word, and especially because it comes with these little sentiment strips, and that's the same thing that Petite used for her card. So I'm going ahead and cut the word you. I'm using the you out of black cardstock and the shadow behind it out of the same color that again is called eggshell. And then because I want to keep all that nice stamping that I created like really in its natural form, I'm actually going to create a hidden pocket for my lines of journal. That means that I'm going to use a tag and I'm going to make sure that it slides in and out of my layout. For that I'm creating a pocket, and all I'm doing is just laying the card on the back side of the cardstock that I stamp, and I'm just gonna run some double adhesive tape around the card so that I can easily creating the pocket. Once I have that, I am gonna create a perforation so that I can see where the card is gonna slide in and out and help me slide it in and out. And then I'm gonna glue my page straight onto the page that I had before, which was my cover for my February album. Once I have that, you're gonna see that I'm just, like I said, I'm just gonna glue it straight on there. I've created that pocket so my little tag is gonna be able to slide in and out easily. And then all I have left to do is just go ahead and create the title, just glue the title. Because the U and the You Matter die set is a little bit wider than what my page is. My page is only 5 inches wide. I'm actually going to trim some of the left hand side, you know, has like a curly Q, that beautiful script. I'm actually going to chop some of that so that I can fit it on my page. So like I said, I cut the simple, like the letter or the word story out of black cardstock and the shadow out of eggshell cardstock so that it keeps the same tones that I have on the background. Now I cut the little sentiment strip out of the eggshell cardstock, and then I'm gonna back it with a little piece of the black cardstock so that the little sentiment that is cut into the strip actually comes out of it so you can see the details. Once I have that, I'm gonna add a little bit of actually cardstock behind the sentiment just to make it pop a little bit from the page, and I'm gonna glue that right underneath the word you. And that is all it's gonna take for this page. Like I said, I want that background that I created with the Mini Delight Petite Reverie to be the highlight of my page, and I don't want to hide it. That's why I'm going very simple. Simple stamping is a great way to add detail to your page. It's just a very fast way to create also a project, and it's actually with great results. So you're gonna see that I have my left hand side. On the right I have actually a pocket full of the pictures of the day. One of the things that Petite had on her card is that she had white ink splatter on it. So I am using pure crisp ink spray from Altenew just to add a few sprinkles of white ink on my page, and then I'm just gonna add a small sticker on my pictures just to complete my page. Super simple, love how this turned out. Now we're going to continue working with whatever is left over on my cardstock to create another layout. Now this time I'm going to transform the leftover piece of cardstock into cards. I'm going to actually create journal cards out of it. And the way I'm going to go about it is I want to keep repeating that pattern that I had on the previous page onto this page, because the pocket, if you see it, it actually shows some of the background from the previous page. So all I'm doing is I'm just cutting 2 cards, and I'm going to make sure that they, when I put them on my paper, they sit side by side and they complete the pattern. And I'm going to cut them so that they form what is going to become my resting cards. I am also going to trim another piece of the same pattern paper, which is what I'm calling this paper that I stamp, to create my journal card. Now that I have that, I'm going to go work on the title. Nothing is glued yet. I am using Ephemera from the Live Your Life and also Enjoy the Ride to create the title for my layout. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a little flag out of the leftover piece of the stamped cardstock that I have, just so that I make my title pop from the page. I use a lot of black and white photos, so anything that I put on it is gonna come, it's gonna pop out, and that's the case for this. So I'm just adding that little flag of the cardstock just to anchor the title to the page. And what I did to the piece of ephemera says that remember that day, I cut the word that said that day, and instead I'm gonna put remember and just remember, just enjoy the ride. Sorry. And this picture is all about my boy and my husband enjoying Super Bowl and not being happy about it because their teams did not make it to the major game. So what I'm going to do on the other side is I want to bring those florals, and don't think that you cannot use florals with boys. Anything goes. I think when you create a black and white pattern on a page, it actually makes it more masculine than using color. So that's what I'm taking advantage of the die set of the Mini Delight Petite Reverie to cut a few of the little roses that were left over in my cardstock. So I'm cutting around 4 of them. I'm gonna use one of them as part of my title, and then the other 3 I'm gonna stack them on top of each other. Think of it as creating a chipboard sticker, and then I'm gonna add it to the first card that I have on the little pocket, and I'm just gonna add a simple sticker from my stash. Then I went and pulled a few more elements that had blue. I have that little one that said home is where you want to be, and then that heart that you see at the bottom is actually from the Live Your Dream collection from the ephemera pack. And then all I'm doing right now is another thing that Petite had on her card is that she had little pearls on her card. So I am using enamel dots that match the colors that I have going. I pull enamel dots from the black and white package and also from the Glacier Caves package. That just matches the colors that I have in the title and also in the embellishments. Super simple. I am gonna use outside of the camera my Altenew fine liners to add my lines to the journal, but I love how this turned out. A simple stamping background can go a long way. Something about black and white stamping just makes it very elegant. And even though it's simple, it just stands out on your page. And all I'm doing is taking advantage of that pattern to make it work for my pictures. In this case, I am using the delicate florals of the stamp set to actually create not only my cover page, but I'm also creating my journaling cards and some embellishments, even for a masculine layout. And as always, I hope this helps you or gives you some inspiration for your projects. Remember, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact me. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care, guys.
Hello crafters, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything. Thanks for watching!